As we fly over the Hoover Dam and look out into the beautiful desert, we make our way to the San Diego airport, seeing the busy interstate of Southern California, ready to experience a grand road trip that begins in the Sunshine State and takes us to the borders of Nevada. California is one of America's most touristic states, where the beautiful blue waters of the Pacific Ocean create an enchanting experience. The Golden State's marine life is famous for settling along the beaches and shores. From seals to dolphins, these delightful creatures love to bask in the sun. California became a state in 1850 as news of gold created the gold rush and accelerated its statehood. And now, more than 270 million annual visitors make their trip to this amazing state. The beautiful decorations of the holidays cover Balboa Park, a perfect welcome to an adventure of a lifetime, as we follow the dotted road that leads us across the state's largest cities, from landmarks to natural wonders. This is the Grand Road Trip from California to Nevada. In America's West Coast are the states of California and Nevada, which contain some of the most amazing landscapes found across the 50 states. Landscapes that range from truly magnificent wonders to cities that have become iconic to the great American tourism. I'm Jose, and I'm on a road trip across the state of California to the ends of Nevada in search of history, geography, and attractions that make this region of America a truly fascinating experience. On this tour, we'll go on a giant adventure to some of California's most famous cities. From San Diego to Los Angeles and San Francisco, we'll make our way across the Mojave Desert into Las Vegas and the borders of Nevada, where Arizona and the state meet at the Hoover Dam, exploring some of the beautiful landscapes that create the story to America's Southwest. The city of San Diego, considered the birthplace of the state of California. It's located at the southwesternmost point of continental America, bordering the country of Mexico. San Diego is known for its stunning beaches, attracting thousands of surfers to the laid-back environment to catch the waves of the beautiful Pacific Ocean. With more than 70 miles of beaches and pleasant weather all year round, San Diego offers plenty of variety for beachgoers. Surfers enjoy the gentle and rolling waves brushing up on the shores. And within San Diego's downtown is Little Italy, one of America's oldest continuous communities and business districts. Little Italy represents the story of early America and its mixture of European traditions, which created an ever-evolving neighborhood of culture, foods, and celebrations. San Diego is one of the largest Little Italys in America, which traces its roots back to the 1920s. Waves of Italian immigrants from Genoa and Sicily arrived in this part of California, which closely resembled the climate and geography of their home. These early immigrants were experts in fishing, bringing that tradition to Southern California and growing one of the largest seafood industries of its time. San Diego became the tuna fish capital of the West Coast.
The story of Little Italy begins in the streets of New York City. The borough of Manhattan welcomed millions of Italian immigrants, and between the 1880s through the 1920s, an influx spread across America, making their way to the West Coast and building communities in the same area we're currently walking through, the Piazza della Famiglia. Italian and American flags represent the cultures of the old country, blending and growing with the influences of the New World. The Piazza della Famiglia was designed to mimic traditional Italian public spaces and dedicated to the past, present, and future families of the Little Italy neighborhood. A neighborhood that has become part of the fabric of America's identity, found in cities like Boston, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Baltimore, and Chicago, all with their own historic tale of the Italian-American journey. As we walk through the piazza, the scenic beauty of the San Diego Bay is visible in the distance. The Little Italy of San Diego, a neighborhood that covers 48 square blocks in the downtown of the city, where you can find Amici Park, famous for its bocce ball courts, the classic Italian tradition that dates back to the Roman Empire. Sculptures of delicious cuisine are on display, coated in bronze, like Deborah Scott's blackened fish taco. As we walk by the Piazza Basilone, commemorations surround the landmark, honoring Italian-American servicemen and women. The stunning Aurora Christmas display shows off its many reflective colors, containing hundreds of polycarbonate panels. During the peak of the Little Italy neighborhood, more than 6,000 Italian families resided in this area, striving to turn San Diego into the tuna capital of the world. And on this sign for the landmark, we can study the art and the many contributions of Italian Americans. In the 1906 earthquake that devastated much of San Francisco, San Diego saw a rise of Italians from the Bay Area, chasing opportunities in the canneries and tuna markets. And the Catholic religion goes hand in hand with Italian history. Our Lady of Rosary Catholic Church was established in 1925, shortly after the Great Migrations. Father Silvestre Rabigliati, a native from Italy, came to California with the dream of building a parish for the community. In 1921, the dream was made reality from the donations of the many Italian-American families in San Diego, creating this beautiful house of worship with Italian and Spanish architectural influences from Father Rabigliati's studies in Latin America. The Little Italy story of San Diego is a wonderful reminder of the many voices that come to America with traditions and values, integrating with the tune of society to respect what came before while embracing the new future. In the Embarcadero area of downtown, we arrive at the San Diego County Administrative Building, digging through the history of this classic city, where I find myself just enjoying the scenic views of the San Diego Bay, reflecting on the story of San Diego being the first city in California. In a very busy waterfront, we find majestic vessels docked at the San Diego Bay, where tourists walk the waterfront with curiosity and joy as they admire the ships. Ships that contain a distinct beauty and have been preserved as part of the San Diego Maritime Museum, like the Star of India, an iron-hulled sailing ship that dates back to 1863, becoming the oldest ship to still make voyages. It was assembled in the island of Man, sailing for the companies of Great Britain, India, and New Zealand. San Diego's rich history began with the Kumeyaay natives inhabiting the area more than 10,000 years ago, but modern San Diego developed in the 15 and 1700s when Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo landed in the San Diego Bay and explored on behalf of the Spanish Empire. The Cabrillo National Monument overlooks the city from Point Loma Peninsula. San Diego's Old Town established the first Spanish settlement, El Pueblo de San Diego, when Father Junipero Serrat led the first of 21 missions to colonize what would become California. As I walk past the Star of India, I'm fascinated by the state's rich history. California was named after a 16th century Spanish novel depicting a mythical island paradise inhabited by Amazonian women with an abundance of gold and precious stones. Back by the waterfront, we hear the laughter of children coming from the playground. A colorful statue of Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn, watches over the park. At La Jolla Beach, surfers take to the waters with excitement as the waves pick up intensity.
This is the beauty of San Diego and why I helped those early immigrants assimilate to the city. When you hit the road and take Interstate 5 from San Diego to Los Angeles, you'll pass through some of Southern California's beautiful natural lands, like the Torrey Pines, a coastal state park spread along 2,000 acres of beach with cliffs that contain an amazing overlook and a salt marsh lagoon that's become vital for the migration of seabirds. The Torrey Pines is also a natural reserve for wildlife and flora, from rabbits, coyotes, and foxes to the extravagant humpback whale. The Torrey Pines is an amazing natural land to discover. It's also a rare piece of nature for the Torrey pine trees, which only grow in this area and on Santa Rosa Island. Then there's the amusement parks found along Anaheim, like the world-famous Disneyland, the first park of its kind that inspired so many others to follow, including Universal Theme Park. It's truly an adventurous drive going from San Diego to Los Angeles.
Welcome to Los Angeles County, the epicenter of the global entertainment industry, the second most populated city in America, and the most visited place in all of California. High on the hills of Los Angeles is the neighborhood of Hollywood, which has become synonymous with the entertainment industry and its connection to astronomy, as studied at the famed Griffith Observatory, which contains the most viewed telescope in the world.
Welcome to the Hollywood Hills.
On the south-facing slope of Mount Hollywood, we find ourselves at the observatory with the landmark Hollywood sign, drawing thousands of visitors to Griffith Park to capture this landmark backdrop in their photos. The sign is one of the most recognized landmarks in the world, where annual visitors reach close to 50 million people, exceeding the populations of Argentina, Canada, and Spain. The Hollywood sign was a publicity stunt by real estate agents, promoting properties on the Hollywood Hills, where it became its own personality to the Los Angeles skyline. Griffith Park is one of the best places to capture the views of the sign, where tourists come for the scenery and stay for the amazing observatory. At the entrance of the park is the Astronomer's Monument, honoring the great astronomers who reshaped the study of space, containing Isaac Newton, Copernicus, Kepler, Galileo, William Herschel, and Hipparchus. So let's make our way into the observatory and learn about the many things that move beyond our atmosphere. This is the most visited observatory in the world, where the Foucault pendulum greets us upon entry, a bronze, 240-pound ball swinging beneath the beautiful Hugo Ballin mural. The museum visitors crowd the hallways, demonstrating the popularity of this attraction. The Griffith Observatory opened as a public facility in 1935, housing the first astronomical telescope that was used in Los Angeles. The lands of the observatory were donated by Griffith J. Griffith under the condition that it be accessible to the public. Over 3,000 acres of land was given to the county with specific instructions on how to coordinate the halls, planetarium, and observatory. Griffith was an industrialist and philanthropist who made his wealth from mining, leaving behind this wonderful fortress of knowledge, where visitors are enchanted by the large planetary displays. And in the center of this fascinating room is the model, a familiar star pattern.
The beauty of the Griffith Observatory. It's Southern California's closest point to the stars.
Once you step out into the terrace, the stunning views leave you in awe. And the beautiful, copper-plated Eastern Dome houses the famous Zeiss telescope, perfectly positioned to capture the wonders of the stars. With a 12-inch telescope that's been in operation since the museum first opened, and the LA skyline looks stunning from this vista.
The view from the rooftop is simply amazing. You see all of Los Angeles.
The Zeiss telescope has given the opportunity of exploration to more than 7 million visitors, putting their eye to the lens to view the moon, planets, and illuminated objects that move throughout the sky. An experience that will leave you inspired to learn more about astronomy. Let's hit the road and travel on Ocean and Pacific Avenue to the beaches of LA County, some of the most recognized beaches in America, with a history as riveting as the City of Angels. We begin at Santa Monica, the ever so popular beach that gets more than 8 million visitors a year, considered one of the most famous beaches in California. It's the final stop to America's Route 66, with a pier that became its own icon. The beach at Santa Monica is full of excitement, with visitors from all over the world taking in the fantastic views of the Pacific Ocean. Santa Monica contains an amusement park with a one-of-a-kind Ferris wheel. The attraction made its debut as the first solar-powered Ferris ride. Santa Monica's iconic claim to fame came via its early involvement with various sports, creating the competitive form of beach volleyball and birthing the Dogtown movement, a skateboarding subculture of the 1970s that introduced a more dynamic and fluid style to the sport. The Dogtown movement also crossed over into Venice Beach, the area of Los Angeles named after Venice, Italy, known for its beaches, oceanfront, and canals. Venice Beach contains an oceanfront trail that extends for 2.5 miles, gaining notoriety for the famous segment of Muscle Beach, the outdoor bodybuilding environment that started America's physical fitness boom. Venice Beach is considered one of the best beaches to surf, where visitors fall in love with its natural beauty. And as I look out into the vast ocean, I'm left mesmerized by the beauty of the Pacific, the largest and deepest ocean to cover the planet. Making our way to the thrilling waters, the scenery of palm trees and lifeguard huts turns this moment into a postcard image, where the soft and golden sands add to the picturesque environment. Venice is the largest attraction in Southern California, second only to Disneyland, with 16 million annual visitors taking to its wondrous shores to get the full experience of the Golden State.
Watching the sunset on the East Coast, it's a beautiful experience, but on the West Coast, it's truly an amazing vista, a unique scene to close out your day.
And so, we patiently wait on the sands to experience a West Coast sunset worthy of becoming photographic magic. As the evening slowly lowers its curtains and the sun makes its way along the horizon, it peeks over to leave enough light that creates a silhouette of the figures on the beach, building a moment that feels like the final goodbye to daytime and a loving welcome to nighttime. We take the scenic road that is Highway 1, driving along the Pacific coast as our clear and sunny skies turn into clouds. And along the drive, we take a detour to the fascinating Big Sur State Park. From the overview of this beautiful region, we can spot the iconic Pfeiffer Canyon Bridge, a bridge known throughout media with graceful arches set along a coastal backdrop. It has become one of the most photographed bridges in the United States. And slowly, we make our way to the steep slopes of the Twin Peaks, seeing the city of San Francisco in the distance. Entering the area of Fisherman's Wharf, we encounter the trolleys that have become a staple of the city. San Francisco is one of America's most historic cities when it comes to the use of cable cars. But a moment that's truly captivating is the first glance of the Golden Gate Bridge, one of the most famous bridges in the world, shrouded in its usual blanket of fog, which is estimated to cover the bridge 70% of the time, from a mixture of the cold currents of the Bay Area waters and the warm air of the Central Valley. Nothing prepares you for a first encounter with a bucket list item. From our window, the raindrops create a stunning visual that almost feels like an oil painting, as the wet and damp weather adds beautiful serenity to our San Francisco journey, where creativity emerges to capture exquisite wedding photos and the multiple colors of containers on cargo ships, adding vibrancy to the Golden Gate Strait as the clouds disperse for a moment of clarity.
So now we're entering the historic fort under the Golden Gate Bridge. Wow, it's amazing.
the beauty that lies beneath the Golden Gate Bridge, the pride of the Pacific. Fort Point is one of the best examples of masonry in America. With innovations in its brick and stone layout, it has stood the test of time as both a functional and an aesthetically pleasing edifice. As we go up the steps to higher levels, the red giant that stands above has become California's most recognized landmark. Cars travel across the Golden Gate Bridge connecting San Francisco to Marin County, joining more than 40 million vehicles that cross the bridge annually.
There's two ways to get out of here, and it chose to go the hardest route, but it was worth the view, huh? Fascinating. Truly, truly fascinating.
The Golden Gate Bridge offers stunning views where we can see the Pacific Ocean just 10 to 12 miles out and look towards Presidio, Crissy Fields, and downtown San Francisco at 4 to 5 miles away. The Golden Gate connects the San Francisco Bay to the Pacific Ocean, the largest estuary in America's west coast, covering between 400 to 600 square miles and acting as an economic hub for its surrounding cities. Taking in the immaculate scenery, I stopped to look in all directions as a first-time visitor, fulfilling a childhood dream. With its unique color of international orange, it's constantly maintained and painted, using 5 to 10,000 gallons of paint each year.
So the Golden Gate Bridge, the materials, the steel that it's made out of, comes from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's right, Bethlehem Steel is responsible for this work of art.
And within a 2-mile range, we can see Alcatraz, the small island that became one of America's most notorious penitentiaries, housing some of the most dangerous prisoners. The Trans-America Pyramid is the heart of the San Francisco skyline as it looks out into the busy San Francisco Bay, where the many maritime activities continue to take place, not being deterred by the foggy weather. From commercial to recreational boats, the Golden Gate Passage is truly a stunning way to experience the city. So let's travel into the downtown. The famed streets of San Francisco come alive with their own geographical marvels, creating a roller coaster ride for tourists on the yellow go-karts.
Going down these streets in San Francisco, you're bound to get a workout. It's some of the steepest in America.
San Francisco's cable car system is the last of its kind in the world. Introduced in 1873 to provide safer transportation as horse and carriage rides became dangerous going through the hills. And those challenges are ever so present in what is known as the crookedest street in the world, Lombard Street, where cars line up to experience the iconic twists and turns that take you down a 27% graded hill. From above the city, we can see the storms passing through the Bay Area, where the annual rain season occurs between November and April.
This red trolley, it reminds me of my childhood. Exactly how I imagined.
And the city's trolley leads us to the famous Fisherman's Wharf, where Italian immigrants settled in the area in search of the Dungeness crabs, creating replicas of lateen-rigged sailboats similar to those found in Italian fishing villages. The area has become one of San Francisco's most popular tourist hubs, where the restaurants are active, and attractions by Pier 39 bring laughter and joy to the visitors. As it all starts here, echoing the city's slogan and becoming one of the best starting points for a California adventure.
San Francisco is part of the Northern California region, as the natural landscape quickly changes from the beaches of Southern California. Driving from the Bay Area, you'll come across some of the most breathtaking wonders. Places like Yosemite, which is one of America's most famous parks. Its half-dome became an icon of its own, rising more than 8,000 feet above sea level, with some of the most stunning views of the Yosemite Valley and Sierra Mountains. Then there's Lake Tahoe, nearing the border of Nevada. With its pristine blue lagoon, the lake has become one of the most visited places in America, where more than 15 million people visit the park annually to experience its unforgettable beauty. To put in perspective just how many people visit the lake, that's more people than 45 of the 50 states, with California, New York, Florida, and Texas being the exception. The clarity of the lake comes from its fascinating depth, which is one of the deepest in all of North America, at a maximum depth of over 1,600 feet. But my favorite stop in this road trip would be the Sequoia Forest, where the giants truly roam. The beautiful Sequoia National Forest is high up in the Sierra Mountains, where you begin at 1,300 feet above sea level and go all the way up to more than 14,000 feet. That would be Mount Whitney, which is the highest point in the contiguous 48 states. The giant sequoias are thousands of years old and have a height of more than 200 feet, with General Sherman being the tallest tree in the forest at a towering 275 feet tall. It's almost 100 feet taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa in France. And once you experience all this beautiful landscape, you'll come across the dry climate of the desert. The vast wasteland that is Death Valley has recorded the hottest temperature in the world at 134 degrees Fahrenheit back in 1913. And on top of the weather, it's also the driest place in America, where in 1929, not a single drop of rain fell throughout the year. Only 76 miles from America's highest point in Mount Whitney, it contains the lowest point at Badwater Basin. Truly a remarkable journey just crossing from California to Nevada.
Back on the road, we travel on the mountainous terrain into the state of Nevada, going through mountain passes and elevations that range from 47 feet above sea level upwards nearly 5,000 feet, where the dry roads take us along I-15 into Las Vegas. "85% of the state of Nevada is made of desert, with an arid climate covered by the Great Basin and Mojave Deserts, the largest deserts in America, filled with hidden wonders that make for convenient stops on any road trip. One of the wonders found in the desert are the 7 magical mountains, colorful rocks along Interstate 15 with a height exceeding 30 feet tall. The work of renowned Swedish artist Hugo Rondinell. These magic mountains are boulders that give colorful vibrancy to the lifeless desert, invoking a sense of human and artificial nature, blending and coexisting in the here and now, bringing onlookers for a short stop as they travel on the interstate. as the desert winds take us through an extraordinary journey that inches closer to the oasis of Las Vegas. The heat rises, and our scenic views turn to a shade of red, with the mountains becoming red rock formations, continuing a trend found across the states of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah.
This is the beauty of America. Just look at this geography, how much it changes from coast to coast.
A few miles outside of Las Vegas is the more than 195,000-acre formation of the Red Rock Canyon, a remarkable natural landscape of sandstone peaks that is home to more than 600 species of plants, with a geological story that dates back 300 million years. An otherworldly experience for tourists who love to hike, as the National Conservation feels like exploring another planet. As I walk through these desert lands, the giant mountains cover the sun, casting a shadow on the ground below that brings a cool desert wind. The Red Rock Canyon formed from fossilized sand dunes around 180 million years ago, mixing iron oxide with the sandstones to develop its distinctive red color, creating a habitat for desert life like the coyote, fox, and bighorn sheep. But as you follow the trails, the elevation changes, and you can easily go from 400 feet above sea level to more than 6,000 feet, with Black Velvet Peak being the highest point in the conservation. A beauty of natural landscapes that leaves me fascinated in the study of American geography and the wonders found by traveling between states.
The Mojave Desert is a dryland in southwestern America that stretches across the state of California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. And amongst this dryland is an oasis of a city that was mostly a stopping point on the way to California prior to the 1900s. Nevada saw the growth of Las Vegas once it legalized gambling in the 1930s, transforming the desert into a touristic paradise.
This is a gambling capital of the world, the electrifying Las Vegas. What happens here stays here. And if you're on a road trip across the West Coast, it's only a couple of hours from LA and San Diego. A place where you can mix all of your touristic desires into one, from partying to exploring, fine dining, pop culture celebrations, and celebrity encounters. Las Vegas has everything described on postcards and travel brochures. A city in the middle of a desert that's constantly on the move, where more than 40 million visitors make the pilgrimage to one of America's most touristic places.
If you're talking about West Coast attractions, what's bigger than Las Vegas?
The loud environment of Las Vegas and its many attractions, whether you come for gambling, and its never-ending area of casinos, or the colorful street performers that line up the downtown of Fremont, Vegas is an unforgettable experience for a tourist. And your attention will be pulled in every direction, with so many things happening at once, with the bright neon lights create a massive illuminated city. The Las Vegas Strip is considered the brightest place on Earth when viewed from space. And once you get to the Strip, the Bellagio becomes a top destination, with a stunning fountain that puts on a show every 30 minutes, surrounded by 8 acres of lake and sprinklers that shoot 460 feet into the air, causing crowds to gather at the entrance. As we continue inside the casino, we're greeted by the famous Las Vegas showgirls, iconic staples of the Las Vegas image. Inside the Bellagio, we get a peek of its famed entertainment and their season festivities. Beautiful decorative ornaments in the Botanical Garden, where the current theme is of the classical ballet, the Nutcracker. Red bows, flowers, and gift boxes spread throughout the lobby, surrounding the giant statues of ballerinas. As one of America's top tourist destinations, it's only natural to find immersive brand experiences. And if you're a fan of chocolate, then you can find an endless array of M&Ms. Or, if you fancy Hershey, then enter Chocolate World. This Hershey store features experiences like no other and contains the world's largest candy bar, where visitors pack the store from end to end just to satisfy the cravings of seeing chocolate in so many innovative forms. In the case of honoring landmarks, the main entrance contains an 800-pound chocolate Statue of Liberty, a journey unlike any other along this road trip. As the fast-paced environment begins to slow down, the Las Vegas Sphere puts on an immersive presentation, showcasing its magic to everyone in the city and showing off the 1.2 million LEDs at work. Containing some of the most sophisticated audio and visual technology, it's the largest spherical building in the world and a marvel to witness. A piece of architecture you have to experience up close. The moon slowly fades as dawn quickly approaches, and the madness of Sin City turns into an early morning ghost town, where the early risers, workers, and night owls are what's left behind in these solitary streets. We wave a final goodbye to the casinos as we take Interstate 515 South and Interstate 11 to our final destination. At the edges of Nevada is Lake Mead, a large reservoir that stems from the Colorado River, sharing 550 miles of shoreline with the state of Arizona. Lake Mead is the largest reservoir in the United States and America's first national area of recreation. From this beautiful overlook, visitors marvel at the 1.5 million acre man-made wonder. Lake Mead is a source of life for those in the Southwest, providing water to more than 20 million people to places as far out as the country of Mexico. The lake was created from rerouting and building the dam to the Colorado River, becoming a boating paradise as this small vessel makes its way through the landmark. The lake was created simultaneously with the Hoover Dam. Explosives blasted their way through the Black Canyon of the Colorado River, using 8.5 million pounds of dynamite to create this passage. Six companies oversaw the project, hiring 21,000 men who provided the labor for its construction. Boulder City was developed solely to house the rotating workers, taking 6 years to fill the waters of Lake Mead and the Hoover Dam, at a level that held 1,229 feet of water. Our trip takes us a final road, with Lake Mead visible behind the mountains, making our way to Nevada's first exit, the breathtaking and exuberant Hoover Dam, where two states meet, representing portions of the southwestern territory of America. A serene and picturesque experience to close this monumental journey, the grand road trip from California to Nevada. This is the spectacular Hoover Dam, where traffic is constantly on the move from the landmark and major sightseeing destination that receives more than 7 million visitors annually. The dam is a massive 726-foot high architectural wonder, which is as tall as a 60-story building with enough concrete to stretch out across the whole country, servicing several states with its majestic nature.
And then you have the beauty of the Hoover Dam. It services Arizona, Nevada, and California.
Completed in 1935, it was considered the world's highest dam, with 4 concrete towers that extend to an estimated 395 feet tall, controlling the waters to the power plant turbines. They direct waters from Lake Mead into the dam, creating hydroelectricity from the force of the water turning the turbines. The beautiful water contained in the dam is often monitored to maintain high levels of cleanliness, impacting agricultural, municipal, and recreational use, with the Hoover Dam's base being 600 feet thick to withstand the pressure coming from Lake Mead. And tourists remain astounded by this thrilling experience, walking between 2 different time zones.
And the wonders of how they plan these borders. I mean, if you go a little bit forward, you'll be in Arizona.
From this narrow passage of the Black Canyon provided an ideal footprint to build a dam, and the division was needed because of Arizona's climate, creating different time zones for the state, which sees long daylight hours, requiring more energy consumption. One of the most amazing experiences you'll have when taking a road trip.
So the engineering to this, the views, it's simply stunning. And this is why I'm in love with the design of America. There's just so much to see. America's West Coast is truly a remarkable journey that contains some of the country's most diverse geography. From the beaches of San Diego and the birthplace of California, to the glamorous mountains of Los Angeles and the mixed terrain as we make our way into San Francisco, the Golden State creates a breathtaking experience that contains some of the best in American tourism. And heading into Nevada, we see a monumental shift into desert land, where entertainment meets natural and man-made wonders to further strengthen the experience of the great American road trip. I'm Jose, and I thank you for joining me on this road trip across America's Southwest. Until next time.